very warm good afternoon to all my students, and today I'm going to share about circulatory system. And circulatory system is one of the important systems that constitute a human body. So what circulatory system actually does, it is responsible for transport of different materials throughout the different tissues of our human body. So what it does actually, it is actually responsible for distributing different nutrients constituting your digestive nutrients from digestive system, oxygen from respiratory organs, or you can say hormones from endocrine glands. These all are actually distributed to different parts of our human body through circulatory system. So that's why circulatory system plays an important role, and it is actually the transportation hero of our human body. So what it does is that I have made you clear a little bit glimpse of it. Now coming to human circulatory system is actually a closed kind of circulatory system. Now the question arises, what is closed kind of circulatory system? Closed circulatory system is that circulatory system in which the blood is actually circulated in blood vessels. Now what are the blood vessels that constitute the circulatory system are? It contains arteries, veins. So what arteries and veins does? Arteries are actually responsible for carrying the pure blood, right? And veins are responsible for carrying the impure blood. Now there is an exception to it, that though all the arteries carries pure blood, but there is an exception. Pulmonary artery carries impure blood. That is an exception to arteries. Similarly, there are pulmonary veins which are carrying the pure blood. Wherever the pulmonary word comes, it's actually related to lungs, that I'll discuss later on. So now coming to the organ, the main organ that is responsible for comprising the circulatory system, and that is heart. Now what heart does actually? Heart is actually a pumping organ, and it is responsible for receiving the blood, the impure blood, or you can say deoxygenated blood. Deoxygenated blood means the oxygen amount is lesser and the CO2 amount is higher. So what it does, it is responsible for receiving the impure blood. As we know that impure blood carrying vessel is vein. So it takes the blood from veins and then it transports to lungs, get it pured, get it oxygenated, and then the oxygenated blood is carried through arteries, through different tissues, or you can say different parts of the body. So that's what heart does. And what heart is actually made up of? It is made up of cardiac muscles. It is made up of cardiac muscles. So what it does, it receives the blood from veins and it sends the blood through arteries to different tissues, or you can say different parts of the body. And that's how the blood is actually pumped through heart, right? So where it is situated, that is also an important part, that where the heart is situated. Heart is actually situated in the thoracic cavity. As you can say that upper is actually a thoracic cavity and the lower is called an abdominal cavity. And in between the diaphragm is there to separate both these cavities. So the heart is situated in thoracic cavity, that is above the diaphragm, right? And it is actually the heart is actually made up of pericardium, that is a double membranous structure. It is called as pericardium. So that is all about heart, circulatory system. Now coming to different chambers of heart, what heart is actually made up of, and what are the components that comprises the heart. Chambers of heart. There are two chambers of heart. One is auricle and the second one is ventricle. Again, these auricle and ventricle are having different partitions, right and left. Similarly, the ventricle is also again having different partitions, that is right and left. And both of these right and left auricles are actually separated from each other by interatrium septum. Similarly, there is interventricular septum. So this is about the different chambers of heart, and we came to know about right auricle, left auricle, and now how the blood flows from heart. That is also very important, and it's an important part, that how the blood flows and how it is responsible for pumping the blood, actually the oxygenated blood from lungs to different parts of the body. Now come and tell you. Body sends the deoxygenated blood. Deoxygenated blood, as I have told you, the impure blood, through vena cava to right auricle, and from right auricle the blood flows to right ventricle. This is all deoxygenated blood, right? And this deoxygenated blood is carried by, as I have told you, that there is one artery that is responsible for carrying the deoxygenated, or you can say the impure blood, and that is pulmonary artery. So now the pulmonary artery comes into action. This pulmonary artery takes the deoxygenated blood to lungs, right? And after the purification of blood, these lungs are responsible for sending the pure blood, or you can say the oxygenated blood, through pulmonary vein. And this pulmonary vein sends the blood to left auricle, and this left auricle sends the blood to left ventricle. This is all oxygenated blood, or you can say the pure blood that we are getting. And this left ventricle is responsible to send the blood to systemic aorta. And the systemic aorta is responsible for sending back the blood to different tissues of the body. So this is how the blood circulation goes on. Now the question arises that why the human circulatory system is called as double circulatory system. Now we'll think about it. As you can say, this right part in which the blood is flowing from heart, obviously the right auricle, the right ventricle, and then it is sending to the lungs. That means the deoxygenated blood carried by different chambers, then it is transported to the lungs. This is actually called pulmonary circulation. What it is called? Pulmonary circulation. Wherever the word pulmonary is coming, that is related to lungs. And when the blood from lungs comes into oxygenated form and it is transported to different parts of the body, it is called as systemic circulation. And these, because the blood is circulating double, or you can say twice, that means it is pumping the oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. So that's why the blood, or you can say the heart is playing twice. The heart is playing the role twice. Because as you can say that, first of all, the impure blood coming to the heart, then it is transported to lungs, and then again the blood is coming. That means circulation is going on twice. That's why the human circulatory system is called as double circulatory system, because the oxygenated and the deoxygenated blood are actually not mixing. That is unlike fishes and amphibians where the transitional circuit is present. So the human circulatory system is actually a closed kind of circulatory system. It is a double circulatory system because it is having the pulmonary circulation and the systemic circulation. So that's how the circulatory system is all about. So thank you for watching my video and all the best for all your exams. Thank you.